Chapter 2. Is a human being potential or reality? Is a human being potential or reality itself? It's a question that circles quietly within us all. Sometimes it surrounds us like fog. Some place this potential before them like a destination. Others treat it as a dream. But no matter how loudly potential may call, its voice often echoes in the deepest wells, like someone climbing toward a mountain peak, only to discover the summit wasn't waiting for the monde that once reached. The entire universe feels hollow. But here, a pause is needed, because sometimes people misjudge their own potential. They cling to towering dreams, to unreachable hopes. The dreams grow so large that fulfilling them doesn't bring irrelevant emptiness, because that dream was only a reflection, an illusion. And once realized, it leaves behind not fulfillment, but a strange kind of loss. Potential can't merely be a target. It must be a journey, a flow. There is no final version of a human being to make a dream come. True eyes simply to invite the next question into being. The value of fulfilling one's potential is not just reaching a goal, but learning to create life again and again with every step. A person's potential changes with them at 15. A gifted footballer dreams of the pros. At 30, that same body speaks different truths. And now, their potential finds a new form. Time, environment, biology, all of these place new limits, open new doors. Potential is not an inner power alone. It is built in relationship with the body, with the world, with time. A dream that matches one's true potential descent, end in satisfaction. It opens the door to more dreams. As dreams become real, the self reshapes itself. Each new dream is a reflection of a former success, of an old wound, but no longer as a possibility, a new horizon. And so begins the dance with life. Because everything we dare to dream is not fiction. It's a mirrored glimpse of a reality waiting to emerge. And when potential is shaped wisely, we don't just aim to arrive. We begin to long for the journey. In Aristotle's shadow, the question of what a human is always travels alongside the question of what a human could become. One of the first to follow these questions was Aristotle. To him, existence was not just what is, but also what could be. And perhaps that's why a person is fully human, only to the extent that they fulfill their potential. According to Aristotle, every being has something called entelechia, inner aim, a natural tendency toward completion, just as an acorn wants to become an oak tree, albeit unconsciously. The human being is drawn toward their potential. But here's the difference. Humans are aware of it. This awareness is both magical and painful, because a person who cannot fulfill their potential doesn't just feel incomplete. They often feel flawed in their own eyes. But now, modern shadows enter the scene. The contemporary world has commercialized potential. The phrase "you can achieve anything" is no longer a promise of freedom, it is a source of pressure. Aristotle's entelechia was about inner development. But today's idea of potential is measured by external validation. Are you famous? How much money do you have? How many followers? These questions turn potential from an inner journey into a public showroom, and this is where Aristotle's shadow falls. The modern individual is no longer trying to realize their own potential. They are trying to become visible in someone else's. Potential becomes a weapon turned inward. Unrealized potential becomes not just disappointment, but shame, and thus, a person clings to the fantasy of the oak tree without ever planting the acorn. But potential is not just a destination. It is a process, and in that process, there is time, there is the body, there are limits. The potential of a 15-year-old footballer is not the same as that of a 35-year-old adult. As a person changes, so does their potential. It is not a fixed goal, but a road that walks alongside you. Sometimes that road bends, changes direction, even ends. And in that moment, a new path begins. This is why Aristotle's shadow still lingers, because we're still asking the same ancient question. What am I meant to become? Thinking is not an action. It's a possibility. Thinking, something we all believe we're doing. Yet more often, we're simply being. Because thinking is not a reflex. It is a possibility. And that possibility only becomes real under the right conditions. Like a seed, it cannot grow without soil. And soil only gives life if it's moist. If there is water, then life begins. The human mind is built in much the same way. A pyramid, rising layer by layer, inward. At the base, automatic. Reactions, habits, conditioning. Above that, social roles, daily phrases, belief patterns. Higher up, ideologies, moral frameworks. And then, the questioning mind. And at the very top, silence. Pure awareness. But this pyramid is not fixed. The human is not made of stone, nor of steel, and not even of glass. A human being is made of water. If a person becomes aware of all these layers within, and instead of controlling them, respects their natural flow. If they tend to their mind not like a fortress, but like a garden, then thinking stops being an act. It stops being a competition, a test of intelligence, a display of status. Thinking becomes a possibility, and to unlock that possibility, you must become like water. Water flexible, but formless. It has volume, but no fixed shape. It takes the form of what holds it, but never loses itself. Within every human being are natural containers, innate vessels, containers for love, belonging, curiosity, expression, freedom, the search for meaning. And all our lives, we are either filling these containers or leaving them empty. But more often than not, we overfill some and neglect others because we've forgotten the one thing that matters most. Balance. To overfill these containers is to flood the mind. To leave them empty is to dry out the soul. But balance is the moisture of thought. If a person begins to sense what fills their inner containers, what overflows, what's missing, their mind becomes lighter. It begins to flow. And within that flow, thought is born. Not as effort, but as fruit, falling gently from the branch. At that point, a person no longer tries to self-actualize. They simply are. Because they are already flowing. Thinking is not an action. It is a possibility. And for those who are like water, that possibility becomes real, quietly, deeply, and sometimes, in the most unexpected moment. A human is a fish swimming in a sea of the unknown. And when they realize what they don't know, for a moment, the sea lights up. That's when thought begins.